Good afternoon and welcome to the latest of our children's stories. We hope you've enjoyed all the ones so far. And today we're going to be telling the story of the 1 o'clock miracle. It's actually based on a Bible story that you can find in John's Gospel chapter 4 about a miraculous healing. But if you're all sitting comfortably, then let's begin. Long, long ago, there lived an important man who worked for the king. But he was sad and so worried. His son was very ill, so ill he was going to die. And no one could help him. There he is, there's the man and his son. But then he heard that a man named Jesus was doing the most amazing, wonderful things. He heard that Jesus was making ill people well again. And he heard that Jesus was doing things that only God can do. So the man decided to ask Jesus for help. Sounds like a very sensible thing to do. There he is. Here comes the realisation about Jesus. The man and his son lived in Capernaum by the sea. But Jesus was staying in Cana, more than 20 miles away.
Oh, it was a very long walk, and uphill all the way.
But the man had decided that he must see Jesus. So he said goodbye to his son and his family, and he set off to see Jesus. Just setting off a big backpack there.
Up the hill, he walked and sometimes ran, because he wanted so badly to see Jesus.
The sun went down, the night was dark, and the stars were bright. But he didn't stop. He just went on. There he is, climbing and climbing away. Look.
Huffing and puffing, he walked and sometimes ran, hurrying to see Jesus.
The sun came up. The morning arrived. But there was still a long way to go. And he's setting off running, look. He's got such a long way to go. Can you see?
Puffing and panting, the man walked and sometimes he ran, because he needed to see Jesus.
Yeah. At last, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the man reached Cana, the town where Jesus was.
He had walked and sometimes ran, and now at last he could see Jesus.
"Please, sir," he said, "my son is dying. Please come with me. Please make him better." The man knew that if Jesus came with him and touched his son, the boy would be well again. But Jesus just said, "Go." There's the pictures. He asked Jesus, and Jesus just says, "Go." What? Go home without Jesus?
After all that walking and even running to get Jesus to come.
But you see, Jesus hadn't finished. "Go," Jesus said, and then he added, "Your son will live." The man believed him. Jesus wasn't going to come to the man's home. He wasn't even going to touch the boy to make him well. But the man still trusted that what Jesus said was true.
Down the hill he walked and sometimes he ran, but he believed Jesus.
The sun went down, the night was dark, and the moon shone brightly. The man felt so tired.
But on he walked and walked, and sometimes ran, because he trusted Jesus.
Yes. There he is, walking and walking, walking into the evening and the night time. The sun came up, a new morning arrived, and still he walked and walked, though his back ached and his legs were very tired.
On he walked and sometimes ran, because he was sure Jesus would make his son well.
There he is. He says, he remembers the words that Jesus said. He says, your son will live. Yeah. Then, far away in the distance, he saw some men, and they came closer and closer, and they were his own servants. They must have news, he thought, but what would it be? Sir, they said, it's your son. Oh, what's going to happen? He's alive! He is well again! The man was bursting for joy. When? The man asked. When did he get better? Yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock? The man replied. Then the man remembered. It was 1 o'clock when he saw Jesus. It was 1 o'clock when Jesus said his son would live. And it was 1 o'clock when his son got better. Here they are, celebrating. Jesus didn't need to go and see the boy.
He didn't need to walk and walk, and he didn't have to run.
No. Jesus simply spoke. And just like that, the boy was better. Wow! Only Jesus could do that. And do you know why? Because Jesus is God's Son. Jesus simply spoke. Happy and smiling, the man walked home, and sometimes he ran to see his son again. Then he told his son and his family about Jesus and how Jesus could do things only God can do. And they all believed in Jesus, God's Son too. Your son will live. And now that the man's son was well, what did he do? What did he do? What do you think he did next? He could smile and he could laugh. He could walk and he could run. All because of Jesus. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. And if you want to look it up in your Bibles, in your children's Bibles, or wherever, it's John's Gospel chapter 4. You'll find that story. Something that happened real. It's not just a story. It's something that actually happened in real life. And wow, how amazing must it have been to see that man's trust and faith, just because Jesus said that his son would get better. He believed it and went home and found that to be absolutely the case. Well, so I do hope you enjoyed this story. Tune in next week for our stories on Wednesdays and Fridays for children, but also this Sunday for a message live on Facebook at 10:30, followed by a children's action song, and then prayers in the evening at 7 o'clock. Do take care. God bless. Bye.